You're watching Brass Tacks with me, Poonam Burde. Tomorrow is Ram Navami, and while the country is ready to celebrate this occasion, the stage is set for a showdown in West Bengal. On the eve, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee went head-to-head over who was stoking religious passions. The Prime Minister, who addressed two rallies in Bengal today, accused the state government of blocking Hindus from celebrating their festival. On the other hand, Mamata Banerjee hit out at the BJP and warned people to not get trapped in any kind of provocation. The political slugfest comes a day after Calcutta High Court granted permission to the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and other organizations for a procession specifically in Howrah, the same place that witnessed widespread violence and arson on Ram Navami last year. And it wasn't just last year that we've seen violence in West Bengal. Unfortunately, that trail continued a few years before that as well. Last year, a BJP MLA was injured in Hooghly too after violence erupted during a procession. There were several other districts of West Bengal that also saw violence. In Dalkola area of Uttar Dinajpur as well, there was violence that was witnessed last year. The same year, 10 people were also hurt because stones were pelted at a procession in Hooghly. All of these places are believed to be sensitive as far as the Ram Navami festival is concerned. 8 people were injured as violence spread to North Dinajpur as well. In 2022, 20 people were injured, including 6 policemen during violence. This happened both in Hooghly and in Bankura. 2019, violence erupted during a procession near Asansol. Mob targeted policemen, they targeted police vehicles, they were set ablaze, there was arson that was reported from near Asansol as well. A year ago, 2018, violence during a procession in Asansol, Raniganj, Kakinada and Purulia was witnessed in West Bengal. 5 were killed, several others were injured, the cops were targeted as well. So who's responsible for keeping this pot boiling in West Bengal? And will this flashpoint have any impact when 3 constituencies in the state cast their ballot on Friday? Before we get into that, here's the story.
मुझे पता है टीएमसी ने हमेशा की तरह यहां रामनवमी उत्सव को रोकने की पूरी कोशिश की.
Mamata Banerjee instructed some communal goals to create problem in Ram Navami.
Joining me on this broadcast, national spokesperson of the BJP, Nalin Kohli, Anirban Banerjee, political analyst who backs the TMC. Tausif Ahmed Khan, lawyer and political analyst, will be joining us shortly. A.K. Jain, former DGP, also with us. Let me begin by asking Anirban Banerjee. We had the West Bengal Chief Minister come out and say that do not get provoked. There will be riots and the EC will be responsible. Why preempt violence? Why preempt riots?
Nothing about preempting. It is the track record of the RSS BJP. All over the country, and in perspective of West Bengal, we have seen in the last few years, if I'm not very wrong, it was from 2017, 2018 onwards, that this date of an auspicious religious event has been chosen by them to show their strength, not strength really, but rather nuisance value as to inciting communal riots, or at least attempting to do so. But every time the state police has thwarted their attempts, and that is why they have not been very successful in arranging riots as they used to do in other parts of the country, or still try to do in other parts of the country. And every year, I'll mention that in West Bengal at least, there are many events, religious, non-religious, both take place without people even bothering about the law and order situation. Nobody is tense, nobody preempts or is attempting to do anything that is against the peace and harmony of the society, except for this day. This particular date, this particular event, since the advent of the RSS BJP, has been a moment, a day of anticipating tension, communal tension, social tension, and the tension for the police about maintaining law and order in various parts of the state. Therefore, this is not really a very organic thing that happens in our state on this date. The RSS, BJP, their goons, their handiworks are always at work to work up or to incite some communal tension. We have seen in the last few years their rallies being taken out in routes which have nothing to do with temples of Ram or temples of any other god for that matter. We have seen people, their supporters, dancing in their rallies with guns in their hands. The Shibpur incident, the Howrah incident from last year, the NIA was handed over the case. They have arrested people from one particular political party, but the guy in the video, in the picture, who was dancing with brandishing a gun in his hand, who happens to be a BJP worker, he has not been even been summoned. Forget about getting arrested. So we have seen how the NIA or the CBI or the ED has been very extremely biased towards the BJP, and
Sure.
even in this case, they have let go the rioters scot-free.
Sure, but this one particular case that you're speaking of, the NIA has investigated the investigation is still on, several accused have been arrested. You say that a particular political party, which is the BJP here, has been let go scot-free. But there are several other cases which the state police has also investigated in the past as far as violence goes. How many BJP leaders were put behind bars? How many BJP leaders were charge-sheeted in any of those cases? The cases that the state police investigated.
Many workers from the ground level who are somehow or the other connected with the BJP or some other organization of the RSS, they were investigated, they have been charge sheeted, the trial is ongoing, and that is for the courts to decide who is guilty, who is not. I will pronounce no one guilty, innocent until proven guilty. I stand by that principle of our courts, of our law of the land. Therefore, even in this case, the Howrah case, where the NIA has been handed over the investigation, when you are seeing a person, if I am not very wrong, his name is Shumit Shah, who is a BJP worker, brandishing a gun, that is on record, and he has not been summoned. More than a year has passed.
Sure.
So what more proof do you really need? At least summon him.
Sure. And that's for the investigating agency to answer. But let me get in Nalin Kohli. Nalin Kohli, Ram Navami is not a festival that was celebrated in a big manner in West Bengal. We've seen the violence in the last several years, starting from about 2017, 2018. That's also the year when the BJP started making a renewed push, an aggressive push towards the state. That is the timing that the TMC is alluding to. Is that a mere coincidence then?
I've heard very carefully what the TMC sympathizer, supporter has spoken. And what a bundle of contradictions. I mean, actually what you call is a delightful bundle of contradictions. First, at the end of his comments, he says, like a lord of justice, that I will not pronounce anyone guilty or innocent. I will let the courts do it. And for the whole period, from the start of the program to then, he calls the BJP and the RSS goons. He says they have failed in their attempts to do communal riots. So he's going on pronouncing sentence after sentence, but when it comes to any questions about the misuse of the administration by the Trinamool Congress against BJP Karyakartas, then he becomes a great lord of justice to say, no, I will not pronounce anyone guilty in this. What a bundle of contradictions. Astounding to even hear this kind of statements coming on television. And let's come back to the missionaries of the Trinamool Congress, the great missionaries of peace that they are. In Sandesh Kali, what they did with women there was about spreading love and affection and goodwill about Ma Mati Manush. I mean, on every front, they have failed miserably. And therefore, they build a false narrative in which they are willing to bring Lord Ram to this level, to the level of their dirty politics, in the name of saying Lord Ram is not even revered in Bengal. That's the sum and substance of what they are saying. Coming from a government that even did not give procession permission on Vijaya Dashmi on Durga Puja. Ma Durga is prayed. Ma, it is the land of Ma. Ma Durga, Ma Kali. You have Kali Puja, Durga Puja. There's nothing bigger in Bengal than Kali Puja and Durga Puja. In Durga Puja, they don't even allow the Vijay Dashmi procession because Muharram comes on that day. So Muharram can be a peaceful thing, but Vijay Dashmi will be communal. Have you ever heard something that is so constitutionally imbalanced? Something that is so against the spirit of the constitution? That Vijay Dashmi is a violation of the constitution and peace will break. But Muharram under the constitution, a procession would be right. Why not both religions?
Have they not happened in the past prior to the Trinamool Congress coming to power? That Vijayadashmi and Muharram has peacefully passed on the same day? Why should anybody's religious affiliations and practices be curtailed? He calls Ram Navami a nuisance. I can't even believe that celebrating Ram Navami in the land of Lord Ram, which is India, you call it a nuisance. I mean, does he even have the courage to try and equate any other religion's procession or prayer as a nuisance? And I dare you, you don't do that. You mustn't do that. How dare you bring a religious thing to a nuisance? Take these bourgeois ideas of yours and sit somewhere and write a book if you want, but you can't run down the faith of millions of people by calling it a nuisance. And who are you to call praying to Lord Ram or celebrating Lord Ram a nuisance? Who are you to say it for anybody's God? So I think the Trinamool Congress has lost the plot. They have nothing positive to speak about, and all they are doing is running down people and their faith because they happen to be Hindus.
Anirban, you had your hand up. Before I get in the other two gentlemen, a quick rebuttal. You had something to say.
Yeah, very short. The RSS BJP is a nuisance to any civil society. It is not about religion, it is not about religious festivals. We have thousands and thousands of religious festivals held around the state all the year round. Whether it is Durga Puja, Kali Puja, Christmas, Eid, any festival from any religion, but no political party ever bothers about the law and order situation except for one this day. Why? Because this has been turned into a show of nuisance value, not strength, by the RSS BJP to try and incite communal riots all over the state. So therefore, it is the RSS BJP and their political ideology that is a nuisance for any civil society.
Sure, those are the allegations. Sure, those are the allegations you make. But like we were discussing, even the cases that were investigated by the state police, there's very little in terms of proof that has come to the fore as far as the involvement of BJP leaders go. And Tasir Ahmed Khan, I want to get you in on that as well. We have the Chief Minister this time around going on to say that there will be riots, and for that the EC will be responsible because they've removed the DIG unilaterally as well. The kind of statements that we are seeing will definitely cause riots, but you must not get provoked, is what the Chief Minister said to a certain community. If
Absolutely.
the EC is responsible for riots, if they happen this time around, then does that mean the state government was responsible for all those years when violence happened? Will the state government take responsibility for that?
You see, Poonam, the Chief Minister of West Bengal is appealing for peace, is asking people, the citizens of the state, not to get provoked because there are precedents. In the Ram Navami procession last year and even the year before, the Ram Navami, the so-called Ram Navami procession, passes through this one particular lane, which is which is dominated by a certain section of the society, where there are places of religious worship, and when the procession passes, they throw stone on that religious worshipping place, and then they raise certain objectionable slogan, and then they commit nuisance, and then they provoke. And there is a precedent available with the police, and it is for this reason that police this year wanted to divert the route, and that is the point of contention. The Prime Minister is saying so shamelessly that the state government is preventing. How is state government preventing the procession? Please tell me. The change in a route to avoid a conflict, a possible riot-like situation, it's a preventive steps that the Chief Minister wants to take to maintain the law and order of the state. But on the other hand, what we also have a precedent. The same Mr. Modi, under his watch in 2002, Gujarat was burning. The same Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, under his watch, the Delhi riot took place and Delhi was burning. And what happened after Delhi riot? The court lambasted the police who were reporting to Amit Shah during the Delhi riot. And it is the same people who is in power, and the Election Commission, who, because of the Model Code of Conduct effective, they are making decisions. Under whose instructions? It is a direct allegation from the Chief Minister that they are taking instructions for BJP, and they are removing the top police officers so that no action is taken against the hooligans of Jansangh and RSS and BJP, so that thus there is a tensions and there is riot, so that the BJP benefits from it in the upcoming elections. Mamata Banerjee has all the right to protect and maintain the law and order, to protect the citizens, to provide the security
Absolutely.
to the people.
Absolutely, I agree, which is why I asked you, Mr. Khan, for all those years when violence took place in the past, was the state government and the TMC not responsible?
I've just told you there is a precedent, and as a preventive action, the police proposed that we change the route. And the BJP and the Prime Minister is giving a speech that we will not change the route. We will go to court and we will pass from the same lane. Who is responsible?
But the court has given them permission.
If the same...
But it was the Calcutta High Court yesterday that did put certain restrictions, yes, that only certain number of people would be allowed, that dates would be different for the two rallies by two different organizations. Some restrictions were put in by the court as well, but the court did give permission for the rally and for the march to go ahead tomorrow.
Poonam, the restrictions are always there. Law is always there, even if the court says or not. Yet people commit crime. What is the police to do? The police is there to ensure that the riot does not take place. And for this reason, different route was proposed. But the BJP is hell-bent on passing from the same route. Because these are conspiracy, they want trouble, they want riot, so that they can somehow, there's a perceived conception that wherever
I
there
must
is a
come
riot,
in Poonam, because this is a rant against the BJP.
Yes, Nalin Kohli, the
It's a
BJP is
rant.
responsible for
It's
all
not
things
even
that
an
go
argument,
wrong
it's
in
a
West
rant.
Bengal. Seems like what the TMC believes. Yes, go ahead.
No, absolutely. I think people should pick up the Constitution of India and read Article 14. Article 14 is about equality of citizens. It is not about the majority Hindu religion or supporters of it being demonized in the name of secularism. And Article 14 does not create this kind of an argument to say that the BJP is doing riots. What riots?
Article 14
Hear the Prime
does not
Minister
protect
and
criminals.
hear him carefully. I have not interrupted Mr. Khan. Mr. Khan, I haven't interrupted. You had a rant against the BJP. I've heard it patiently. The least you can show is show me the courtesy to listen to what I have to say in response. No, and what criminal? How dare you call the BJP a criminal? How dare you call any one of us a criminal? Who are you to say we are a criminal?
The political party shield.
This is unacceptable forum, and I'll walk out of this show if you are going to keep people who are like this to call people who come on the show criminals. I'm sorry, Poonam, I will walk out of this show. I'm not going to allow some person sitting there have a rant against my party and run us down as criminals.
I agree, Nalin Kohli. I agree. Let's try and keep this civil. Tausif Ahmed Khan, you had your say. Let him make his point. I'll come back to you.
Civil. I heard the whole thing. It's a
Mr. Khan, I'll
complete
come back to
one-sided
you.
rant.
I will give you your time. Nalin Kohli, go ahead.
He has had all the time, one-sided rant is going on, calling BJP criminals, painting it, go back to history and study the history properly. In India, read about the Muharram processions of Lucknow, which used to say that we will go through a street. Those also today happen peacefully under the BJP government. They used to never be peaceful earlier in the past. Under Yogi, it's happening. Check out Prime Minister Modi's track record in the 10 years as Prime Minister of India. Check out the track record of Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. Compare it to any 5 years of the Congress government in the past, in state or anywhere, and you will find that Congress and opposition party governments had a history of riots. The BJP doesn't. This is the one-sided false narrative built by a set of people whose entire business model is to run down the larger community in the name of saying that we are the victims. A criminal is a criminal. A criminal can be Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Parsi, Jew. The BJP does not see the religion of a person. It is because of Mr. Khan and the Trinamool Congress and other such people that everything is being communalized, even crime. They will look at a rape of a woman in the eyes that this is what religion, who is the rapist and who is the victim, and then have a narrative one way. For the BJP, it is a woman, her dignity has to be protected irrespective which religion she is, and the perpetrator must suffer the consequences of law. The Trinamool Congress and such people as Mr. Khan and his other organizations have brought down West Bengal from where to where. They have converted West Bengal into from a land of culture, a land of respect for women. What was happening in Sandesh Khali? Now let's talk about it. Let's talk of the name of the Trinamool Congress leader. Let's talk about it and ask about the victims of which religion they are. How would this argument sound on television? Horrible. But did the Trinamool Congress even step in against Mr. Sheikh? Did they even listen to the cries of appeal from those women who were being horrifying, being mistreated? Trinamool Congress has decided to do this. This is their path. The people will make them suffer
through the peaceful process of voting.
Sure. AK Jain, I need to get you in as well. I'll get the TMC sympathizers to respond to this. But AK Jain, we're talking about violence that we've seen, unfortunately, for several years now. It happens every single year. Unfortunately, very little changes in terms of the kind of precautions that are taken or the action that's taken in the aftermath. Irrespective of which political party is trying to stoke tension, is it a political party trying to stoke tension, which is why we're seeing this on ground?
There is violence only when police works under pressure. If there is no pressure on police, if they are asked to maintain law and order and to take action against criminals, against anti-social elements, they might be Hindus, they might be Muslims, they might be any community, then there will be no law and order issue. For the last 7 years, Yogi is Chief Minister in UP. I have been IG Zone Lucknow 4 times. And there used to be always tension in old Lucknow between Shia and Sunni whenever the procession used to be taken out. Now there is no tension at all. Everybody is taking out peacefully processions throughout the state. So this is not acceptable that Hindus are creating trouble. If they are creating trouble, you book them. High Court has given permission to take out the procession. They have put the restriction on that numbers should not cross 200, no provocative sloganeering, and no DJs, no weapons. Fine. Police should be capable of enforcing these conditions which have been laid down by High Court. High Court has not given permission to change route, or they have not interfered with the route of the procession. If High Court, they must have contested before in the High Court also that procession should be, the route should be changed. Generally, routes are not changed. They are changed only with a government order. The routes always remain the same. It does not depend on the local people, on local police and local administration, that whenever they choose, they can change the route. So it is up to West Bengal police, West Bengal administration, that they should enforce law and order. If 200 people, if they cannot manage a procession of 200 people, if they cannot form a box-like security around the procession, and if they cannot take out a procession of 200 people, then it's a shame on West Bengal police and West Bengal administration and West Bengal government. Now she's threatening election commission. She has leveled charges against NIA, against ED, against CBI. I think Supreme Court is the only institution which against which she has not leveled allegations so far. This is not done. This is not done. This is she's chief minister. She's a seasoned politician. It is her duty to maintain law and order. She should come out in the press and say that police has to maintain law and order at any cost, saying that the riot will take place and then election commission will be responsible. This is absolutely baffling. You are giving suggestion to people that you indulge in rioting, and then we will blame election commission. Election commission is there. Election commission is no doubt there. Election commission has a voice. They have to enforce neutrality in the state. But administration is always with the state government. In UP also, the DGP, the Chief Secretary, Principal Secretary, Home, Chief Minister, they are maintaining law and order in the state. Whatever orders are being passed by High Court and Supreme Court, they are complying with it. They are supposed to comply with it. They are supposed to comply with the order of Election Commission, whether you like it or not. So, and after every election in West Bengal, I have been watching, there is so much of violence. And I see leaders of, I have been speaking on channels, leaders are openly threatening that on such and such date in April, central forces will go away, then you will have to report to West Bengal police. What is this? This is not expected
and
from
it's the
MLAs.
power of suggestion. That's really what Mr. Jain is also getting at, Anirban. The power of suggestion. The Chief Minister, is she putting the seed of doubt in the minds of certain people? She was referring or talking to a certain community on a particular occasion of Eid. That's when this comment came to the fore. The power of suggestion is there for everyone to see.
Okay, the very conditions laid down by the Honorable High Court is proof enough that what exactly happened in the last few years. Why did the High Court have to put in those conditions? No more than 200 people, no provocative slogans, no DJ, no weapons. Why? Because those were the exact things that the RSS BJP people did. They use provocative
Why did
slogans.
the
as
group
Tausif
have to go
said.
to court in the first place?
Because what they did in the last few years was reason enough for the unrest that took place. As I mentioned before, they use provocative slogans, as Tausif said. They use DJ boxes. They use weapons, brandishing a gun in broad daylight in a procession. You call that a Ram Navami procession? No religious procession ever, no devotee would brandish a gun in a broad daylight. Right? Sir, I did not interrupt. Sir, I did not interrupt. Please let me complete.
No,
sir.
144 is always
No,
there.
what? No, I did not interrupt.
Whenever
I did not
processions are
interrupt.
taken
Let
out,
me complete.
West Bengal
me
police
complete,
cannot
sir.
Mr. Jain, I'll come to you. I'll come to you. I'll
Let me
give you time for rebuttal. Anirban, please finish.
So there have been these kind of usage of inciting and provocative slogans, brandishing guns, this and that is the reason the High Court had to impose these conditions on the procession. That is one. Number two, there are crores of people who participate, say in Durga Puja, say in Kali Puja, say in Eid, say in Christmas. There are crores of people in West Bengal, not thousands, not lakhs. Crores of people take part, participate in those festivals. Not a single incident of communal tension, forget about riots. Not a single incident, I repeat, except for this day throughout the whole year when the entire state comes to a halt in anticipation of something bad is going to happen. Some communal tension, some communal
But who
riot
is
is going
building
to
this
happen.
anticipation? That's exactly what
The
I was
RSS,
asking.
BJP, they have done this. They have brought down law.
And how is the chief minister helping the situation? Is she trying to calm it down, or is she trying to stoke those passions further by saying yes, there'll be riots and the EC will be responsible?
No. So when you have cancer in your body, say for example, what do? Ignore it. You do nothing about it. You don't go to the doctor. You don't
An eye
want
for
the
an eye
patient.
can't really be the answer. It definitely
What is
can't
eye
be
for
the
an eye?
answer as
Please,
far
appealing
as
for
the law
peace.
and order is concerned. But AK Jain, you had to come in. You wanted to make a point.
I'm saying
Poonam, let me
that
also come
whenever such processions are taken out, Section 144 is in place. Whenever permission is given to take out a procession, certain conditions are laid down by police and local administration, by local SDM, the ACP or CO, whatever you call them. So, and if West Bengal police, is it so incompetent that they can't tell people not to brandish weapons? Weapons should be seized. Such people should be caught. They should be put behind bars.
Yes,
If
you're
action
right,
will be
sir.
taken against
You are
5,
very
10 people, there will be no such thing. For
very right, sir.
every community, I'm saying, whether Muslims are taking out procession or Hindus are taking out procession, in UP also we have been doing it. I have been in civil police for 37 years in the state. West Bengal is not so communally sensitive as Uttar Pradesh, but we used to enforce all this. If you just give up, if you just give up.
person
Sure, so
brandishing
in
a
the
gun
end-
was arrested by West Bengal police but let off by the NIA. That is the point. That is the thing I'm pointing out. The person brandishing a gun was arrested by West Bengal police, but the NIA let him off.
Sure. So another investigating agency, a central agency, which the state government now accuses of acting at the behest of the BJP, came and let off this particular accused. But this is one instance that we're talking about. The state government has been investigating cases for several years now. But yes, Mr. Khan, you had a point to make before I get in Nalan Kohli. Yes.
You see, Poonam, Mr. Jain very rightly said that if the senior police officer do not want, then there will be no riot at all. And that is my point. That Mamata Banerjee is not being allowed to choose the senior police officer. Is the election commission interfering and changing the senior police officer in the district? And that is why she is saying that I cannot be held responsible. Then election commission is held responsible because on ground, the police officers on ground take orders from their bosses.
Sure, I take your point, sir. I take your point, which is exactly why I asked you that if this year the election commission has removed the top cop and that's why the EC will be responsible, then for all the past years when violence took place, when law and order was in the state government's hand, was the state government and the chief minister, who's the home minister of the state, also responsible?
Perfect.
Nalan Kohli.
Yes, Gujarat 2002.
Absolutely, that's the
Yes,
sum of it.
Delhi
Sure.
riot
I said,
also.
as far as 1 minute, may I just finish? 1 minute.
Yes,
Let me stop going back to 2002 and why don't we start from 1947? Why don't we talk about Nokhali? Why don't we talk about the hundreds of riots that have taken place?
Why are you scared of
if you want a
taking
history
name
on
of
the
Mr.
lesson
Modi?
on riots, we'll do that.
One riot you'll pick up and do that, and in which also,
What is fact
in
is
which
fact.
also,
Mr. Modi,
there were
Mr.
FIRs
Don't
filed,
be
there was
scared of
action
taking
by
action,
law, and
Mr.
those
Modi.
people have been punished.
Tasif Khan, you made your point.
Nothing.
I have very
Mr.
little
Khan,
time
don't
left
try
on
your
this debate.
communal
Nalin
agenda
Kohli,
with
please.
me.
Yes, Nalin Kohli,
So
continue.
let me come back on my point.
Yeah.
So I'll come back on the point. The core point is, in the beginning of the debate, I started with a sentence: the Trinamool Congress and its supporters and leaders are a bundle of contradictions. If the EC comes in and if a riot happens or if violence happens, the EC is responsible. But then everything before that, as you rightly pointed out, with Mamata Banerjee as the Home Minister, Chief Minister, Home Minister, then she should take responsibility. Mr. Khan must be complimented for giving this wonderful point. In fact, this should be spread among all the voters, that Mr. Khan has actually said that if the logic, which is the corollary of his logic is EC is responsible, and we agree with Mamata Banerjee. So the corollary of it is, whatever happened before that, Mamata Banerjee and a government are responsible. It's as simple as that. And second, Mr. Jain, with his experience, has brought in some very, very valid points. And those points come from a professional. Beyond all the politics, if West Bengal government, like all the other states, simply allows the professionals to do their job, in this case the West Bengal police, you won't have a problem. It is because of the interference by the West Bengal government to promote people like Shah Jahan Sheikh that you have a mess up of the law and order.
And let's keep the politics aside. Tomorrow is a day that is marked as auspicious by many in this country. Let's keep it to that for the sake of the people of West Bengal. Let's hope that tomorrow is not marred by violence, as we have unfortunately seen in the past. On that note, I have to thank you all gentlemen for joining us here on this broadcast on this